Hello everyone, Reef here, bringing you another quick review. Ignore the tank that's a bit cloudy. I've just decided to build a bit of an archway there, which my purple tank seems to quite like already. Thought I'd just do this quick review as he's out and about, or one of them, on hermit crabs. Now I've probably got 4 or 5 in this tank, maybe more, I can't remember. There's something you tend to quite often just go and buy some clean-up crew and you leave them in there. These obviously getting quite big. There are some much smaller ones in the tank somewhere as well. All out and about, you'll tend to find they really come out and about when you chuck some food in or at night. Now, hermit crabs. They are quite often sold as clean-up crew. I bought my first ones in a much smaller tank I had before to eat hair algae, and to be honest, I've never seen them eat hair algae. They'll eat uneaten bits of food and maybe bits of seaweed that you chuck in, or pellets or other things like that, but I have never seen them eat hair algae. So, although they are kind of a good clean-up crew, as you can see, I've still got some marks on the sand bed. Oh, I think that's potentially another little one that's buried himself in sand. Essentially, I don't know how much of a clean-up crew they are, other than uneaten food, but it's always good to have as much clean-up crew as possible. I have quite a few bristle worms in the rocks in this tank, but I leave them because they're good clean-up crew and they're free clean-up crew. I've tried catching them and stuff in the past and it's just not worth it. Unless you absolutely eradicate them, they come back. So I leave them in. But when it comes to hermit crabs, my review, I like them because I quite like critters in a tank. I like not just having fish, but corals. As you can see, I've got my cleaner shrimp up there. There is some peppermints in here. There's a pistol shrimp that I bought to pair off with my goby, which never happened. Got an urchin, tuxedo urchin down here, which is very good at cleaning up algae and algae on the glass and stuff. So I like them. I like them as critters. Now, there are a couple of issues that you can get with them. Firstly, potential issue, which you can probably see there's a risk of now, is if they're walking around with their shell close to the glass, they can slightly scratch glass. Doesn't matter how careful you are with your rock work. I've seen a few tanks that have little scratches down the bottom, and I've heard his shell, he's the biggest one I've got, knocking against the glass as he goes round. So I suspect there's some sort of minor little scratches inside the tank. They will hunt down snails. Even if they do, it could be that they just need a shell. To be honest, I think they just hunt down snails for the sake of it. I've seen them climb up the sides of the tank, up in the seal on the side of the tank, just to try and get to a snail, to pull it apart. So they do hunt snails. They don't really do that much clean-up crew jobs, really. A bit of uneaten food. And if you have a fish that isn't 100%, that is laying on the sand bed, sort of gasping, I've seen hermit crabs go onto them before they're dead. So a fish doesn't necessarily have to be completely dead for hermits to try and clean them up. They will try and clean up or try and eat anything that's moving slowly enough or isn't very healthy. So it sounds like there's lots of negatives on them. They don't really do that much of a clean-up job, and they will eat your other tank mates. But as I said, I like them because they're a cool critter. Part of the interesting part of this hobby is that there's lots and lots of different creatures in the tanks that you can put in to make it interesting. And if nothing else, there's usually a hermit crab wandering around somewhere in my tank. I hope that's helped anybody thinking about... See, there's another one there, didn't even see him. Hope that's helped anybody thinking about getting a hermit crab. Thanks a lot.